The verdict, I'll just talk about what I remember. So everybody did the closing, and everybody, we all left out. And so I was in the car sitting with Lab. Lab was in my car. And so we were just talking about, how long verdicts come in, because it goes both ways. They may say that if the verdict comes back quick, it's bad, or if it takes a long time, then it's bad. So I was just like, girl, I said I wouldn't mind being here until like 6 or 7 if that means that they're actually going back there looking through everything. And she was like, yeah, I know. I anticipate us being here. And it's like 12 o'clock. I anticipate us being here until the night. So we're sitting, I parked in the back of the courthouse because our people had to enter through the back for whatever purposes. But so we're sitting in the car, and one of the officers come out, and he's like, where's your people? And Lavender and him had been joking around, so she was like, quit playing. And he was like, no, I'm serious. The verdict's back in. And so we both are like, all right, just go into like focus mode. Let's start grabbing everybody, bringing everybody in. On the outside, I'm like cool and collected. On the inside, I'm shaking, I'm nervous. I'm like, all right, we're here again. So we're everybody's walking in. We stand outside, and our attorneys led a prayer. I can't remember. I think Blackman pulled us all together and we prayed. And so we're standing outside. I think Lavender might be crying by this point. I don't know. But
you're talking about now, because I am.
You crying now? I'm talking about then.
Oh.
But, so we're all like holding in the door. The officer's in front of me, and I'm like, do you know what it is? Like, what is it? Like, what is it? He was like, I don't know. And I was like, but if you did know, could you tell me? He was like, no. And I was like, all right. So we're all in the and we all go into the courtroom. The police presence was very militant. They had called the Claiborne County Sheriff's Department there in case they had to take me back. So there's like maybe 15, 20 police officers behind me. Like I'm sitting here, there's like 20 police officers behind me. There are about as well as 20 police officers in the courtroom, lined up on each row. They didn't allow anybody to sit in the middle sections. There are 3 sections, one here, and another here. Nobody could sit in the middle section. You either had to sit here or you had to sit here. And then the DA's office is not there yet. So we're sitting here for 30 minutes, completely quiet. I passed out. Nobody knew I passed out because I'm like freaking out. I'm like, I lay down, my stomach's hurting. I'm just thinking about like my kids, because before we walked in, I told Lavender, I'm finna call my babies. And then I said, no, I'm not gonna do it. I said, I'm not gonna do it because I'm gonna see them when I come out.
Right.
See them when I come out. And so I'm sitting there, and my attorneys are like, they're so nervous. We're all just like sitting there, and sitting there, and it's quiet. I keep looking over at my family. My entire family is like sitting there, and we're all looking, and I'm looking at them for strength, because this is the part where I know no matter how supportive they have been this past year, I got to walk this part. If this is where I got to go, I got to walk this part by myself. So they're sitting over there, and I'm thinking I should have called my babies. I should have talked to my babies. I should have seen my babies, because even if it goes that way, I can call them, but I can't see them. So I said I should have called them. I asked one of the officers, I said, can I just go into the district attorney's office, get back? Can I just go sit by my husband? I just want to go sit by my husband. And they told me I couldn't. So And I'm like, okay, they said I can't go, so this is gonna go bad. But no, so I'm sitting there, and then the DA's office walks in, and we're I held my attorney's hands, and the jury comes back in. And the jury comes in, and the foreman gives the judge his paper. And she reads it and gives it to, in my interview, I said the judge read it, but the judge does not read it. The judge hands it to her, whatever she's called, and she reads it. And for a moment, I was like, my family cut up. So like, they're like screaming, and they got put out. So they got put out, and when they finally registered it, she said not. I lost it, and it was like a weight.
Wow.
Lifted.
Wow. Wow.
I lifted, but I went down. I went down, and I don't know what the judge was saying at that point, but I heard her say, "Is there anything I wanted to say?" And all I could do was just lift my hand and say thank you. And then they told us to get all our stuff and get out. Like, they told us to get out, get off the premises, get off the property. Like, we had to go for safety purposes, I'm sure. But I'm done.
Wow. Wow. Thank you for sharing that with us, Kia.
And I don't know if people, like for those in the audience